right, into the third hour we go on a Terrible Towel Tuesday on C2C on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. And we're talking NBA Cup tonight because it's the final in Sin City, the Magada, beautiful land, and Long Vegas, baby, at T-Mobile.
It is the final at T-Mobile here between the Bucks and the Thunder tonight. NBA Cup in Vegas. Not a bad deal, right? If you all these teams got to spend what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Vegas. If you made it to the final, I wonder what kind of shape they're going to be in for tonight. That's a lot of nights in Vegas without playing. That's a lot of nights in Vegas. Here's Doc Rivers. The Bucks, of course, started playing better when the NBA Cup game started. We will kick things off with Doc, although, you know what, we can do Dame Time first. We've got Dame Time queued up. Let's go here. We'll get things going with the Bucks. There's Dame Time. NBA Cup brought out the best in the players.
I like it. I think it provides excitement for us as players and excitement for the fans, and it's something on the line, you know, before you get to the playoffs. And I think it just brings out the best in us. You know, you get in these.
He sounds excited. I know that.
Cup games where
excited about it.
The floor is different.
Yeah.
You know, the uniform is different, and you know that we playing for something. It's a prize at the end, obviously, a trip to Vegas, and ultimately just an opportunity to win something as a
Mr.
team.
Defense
and
here.
what that can do for the morale of a team.
So look, I'll tell you this much. It's because there's bags of money on the table. There's no other reason. Now, I know when guys make as much money as NBA players make, it's probably hard to believe that they would actually be hungrier for more, but that's exactly what they are. There is nothing like playing for money. Like I keep telling you, when they play that basketball tournament, the final of that thing, the semis and the final of that thing are violent. I mean, guys will kill you just soon let you shoot a layup. They will chop your arms and head off before they will let you score a bucket when there's $1 million on the table. Now, these guys are playing for 500 large. They'll just as soon kill you than let you score. And that's why I think the game's going to be tight as hell. Now, am I going to Hasseltine? He looks like he just played for a bag of money down in the hood. Let's go to the Grizzlies play-by-play guy. Eric, what is going on? Can we flip to Eric? Here, we got him. Yes, there he is. Look. Someone gouged him in the eye. What happened?
I was just, like you said, just rolling through the hard parts of town, just trying to make a little extra scratch for Christmas. And no, it's actually an old basketball injury from someone trying to poke the ball away and poke their finger right in my eye. And just calling games this year, it was getting blurry, and they discovered scar tissue. So we had the nice little layoff because we didn't think that $500,000 was worth our time. Apparently, it didn't play very well in the NBA Cup. So a little break.
I'm sorry about your eye. That is awful.
No, it's
there
good.
could be nothing worse than having your vision taken from you, or having blurry vision, or a scratched cornea, or someone gouge you in the eye. I've always joked on my show, I'm a thumb to the eye. It's not so funny when it happens to you. I think Myles Garrett had a little of that on Sunday in the NFL. It's good to see Eric. Merry Christmas. I want to start with this real quick. They've won 8 of 10. They've moved into second. They play great at home. They've been average on the road, average in the division, but I don't think they've had enough of a taste of in-divisional game yet, and pretty decent overall in the conference. What is your assessment of how they've jumped into this two-hole?
Well, first of all, Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I think that there's a couple things going on here. One, their new offense is really fast, and it's really good. And it's caught teams off guard. When they played Golden State in that first Emirates NBA Cup game, Draymond Green post-game talked about how different what the Grizzlies are running is. I never thought I'd see the day when they were the top scoring team in the NBA, because this was a team for years built on physicality and defense, and you knew you were in a street fight when you played the Grizzlies. It's not like that anymore. They brought in a new assistant coach named Tuomas Iasalo, who really has a scheme that enables everybody to eat. There's not one guy just scoring 35 and everybody else following suit. Everybody's getting there multiple nights with 7 guys in double figures, over 30 assists a game. The ball's constantly moving. they battled through some injuries. They also caught some breaks on their schedule. Let's be honest. Philadelphia is not what you thought they would be, and they got them early twice. They got a Milwaukee team struggling early in the season, and now they're back on track. They did not play particularly well against Brooklyn in their first two matchups, and they blew a lead against Chicago. So, right now, more than ever, Scotty, and Steve Kerr said it, so I don't want to take credit for it, but he's absolutely right. It's never been a more make or miss league. And when this team makes more than 10 threes, they're virtually unbeatable. They're 18-9 now. I think they're 17-2 when they make more than 10 threes. When they don't, they're 1-7. They just don't, that you're not going to win games. But they're still not 100% healthy. They got Zach Edey back Sunday in Los Angeles, and he played well. But the rest of the team, it was just one of those odd nights in an 82-game season that you don't play very well, and maybe guys are trying to do too much. Maybe the bright lights of LA, maybe the long trip. You can drive yourself insane trying to overanalyze it. And you, as someone who's put a little coin down on teams trying to figure out why they look so particularly bad, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But overall, they've been very good on both ends of the floor. It's not just their offensive metrics. Their defense is good too. And when they get healthier, they're going to get deeper. They're going to get Gigi Jackson back soon. They're going to get their best defender and Vince Williams back. Desmond Bane is still figuring out his role in this fast-paced offense. When he starts shooting the basketball, it's going to get better. I was pleasantly surprised. I was kind of looking at the first 25, trying to be around 14-11, 13-12, and then figure out how this offense really works. They're ahead of that, and I think they can get better.
So Friday night when they played the Nets, it got crazy there, right?
Yeah.
In the arena. How close were you to all of that? Really, just smack talking and verbal assaults and filthy language, and Schroeder taking on Jenkins, and Jenkins' mouth was just awful. And they got it all on mic. And it was a scene. I thought a fist fight was going to break out. How close were you to that? And what did you think of it?
Well, it turns out owners realize that courtside seats make them a lot of money. So they've moved a lot of the radio spots up into the top of the first deck, but had a good view of it. And our microphone was down there too, which we made sure did not go over the air. But it started at halftime. And I've known enough of Ja Morant. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm his best buddy and we go hang out and roll through the town and the clubs and stuff. But I know Ja well enough, I feel like, to know that there was something said either during the game or prior or in the last matchup that had him going with a little extra edge, because he makes a shot at the end of the first half and stares down new Nets head coach Jordi Fernandez, who I have a ton of respect for. Having been in Sacramento, I still know a lot of people there. They love that guy. When he was there with the Kings, and I think he's doing a really good job with what he's got in Brooklyn. But it was just an odd scene, and you're like, that's not normal Ja, like trash talk. That was something extra. So it continued, and the way I understand it is that Taylor and Jordy are pretty good friends, and the two coaches were talking, and Dennis Schroeder took exception to it and came in and said some things. And Taylor has always been one to protect his guys. I mean, you heard Draymond Green call him out earlier for protecting his guys, which was hilarious because Draymond Green's coach, Steve Kerr, does the exact same thing, calling out officials, talking about how this wasn't the right play. But it's good for you guys. It's not good for our coach to do it. So, but that's Taylor. He's always going to defend his guys. He's been a player's coach since day one. This was a guy, when he took over in 2019, coaching Summer League, is dancing, getting water thrown on him because they won a Summer League championship. So
hey,
I think
Eric,
he stepped in.
Hold that thought. I hate to interrupt you. Just don't go anywhere. Chill. I still want to talk to you some more. Can you hang for a couple seconds? We'll come back in 2 minutes, and we'll finish this conversation. I'm very interested in talking more about the Grizzlies.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set, to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Special guest Eric Hasseltine of the Memphis Grizzlies. We're talking about that fight, basically, that broke out on Friday night in Memphis. And I never knew that Jordy and Taylor were good friends and everything else. I will tell you this. Since then, Schroeder's been traded to the Dubs. That's crazy. I think that team, the Nets, is kind of willing to deal just about anybody now. And I even heard him saying they're going to let Ben Simmons run a faster offense now and be the full-time point. Like, that'll last. I mean, I'm healthier than him. I'm 50, and I play more basketball than Ben Simmons. I did want to tell you one story really quick, though. So I got the Jaws. My son got them for me last Christmas as a gift, right? He got me the Jaws first shoe, and I got that purple shoe of his.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, that is a great shoe. Like, I have played in every shoe known to man from every star player in the NBA. I have all of them. I have 200 pairs of basketball shoes. I have to tell you, that lowrider jaw that I got is the baddest ass shoe I think I've ever worn playing basketball. I wore it so much, now I can't even play in it because they're worn out. And now I wear them out in the street. I wear them to the gym to work out. But I got to give Ja props. His shoes are badass. They really are.
They are. All of our training guys and coaches that work on the court generally wear them too. They all love them, and they speak so highly of them. So, hey, look, I'll tell you what. We're back out in Portland in March. I'll look for a pair at the Nike store for you. Ship them out to you. How about that?
Man, I mean, honestly, I'm a 12. Just like we're saying. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, let's get it in.
See,
let me ask you about. I'm just kidding. Let me ask you about Zach. Now, I'm a big believer in the kid, because I have never in my life seen a guy seal the way he sealed in college basketball, the way he would stick his ass out and get the rock and get in position in the low block and make a little mini hook. It was like taking candy from a baby. And I said, I don't care what anyone says, because they all said he was going to suck in the NBA, be a terrible draft pick, terrible player, never make it, never amount to a hill of beans. And I thought they were all full of Shaq. How is he, and what's it like watching him kind of develop and come into his own?
He's been really solid. I mean, he still has those moments like a lot of rookies do where the game looks a little fast for him, and especially for him at his size. But,
Right.
you know, Anthony Davis is a really good low post defender, and he gave him fits the 3 times or the 2 times he's played against him. Zach came back Sunday, had a double-double, a lot of that on the offensive end, cleaning up misses, which is exactly what the Grizzlies were asking him to do. They knew they were going to play fast. They just said, look, we're not asking you to become faster or be a 25-point per game night. Just be Zach Edey. Be 7'4", 300 pounds, set big screens, roll to the basket, protect the rim, clean up on the offensive glass, and score 12 to 14 and grab 7 to 8 rebounds. And that's what he's doing. He does have nice touch. It's going to come with confidence when he shoots it. He had a great look over Davis Sunday night, but came up short. I think sometimes he goes up and thinks, should I be shooting this, like a lot of rookies will. He's a really quiet guy. He works very, very hard, but I've been amazed at his shooting ability. He doesn't take a lot of threes, but when he takes them, he makes them. I mean, he hit one point with 6 of his first 9. Now, that's not going to hold up, but if this guy makes 1 out of every 3, it's a bonus, and he's not going to shoot them all the time. He's going to be a big piece of what happens moving forward. Now, will he be the starter, or will it remain Brandon Clark? You know, that's going to be a Taylor Jenkins decision, because Brandon's more athletic and knows job better and knows how to be ready. There's been multiple times this year, and you've seen this a lot probably, Scotty, where a guy that has incredible court vision, your teammates aren't always ready for the ball. Brandon is when it comes to Ja. Zach is not quite there yet fully. So that will play a factor in it. But he unfortunately rolled his ankle, came back, but he looks good to go. It'll be interesting to see what he does Thursday night against a Warriors team that doesn't have a lot of size but has Draymond Green. And, oh, by the way, the guy you mentioned in that skirmish, Dennis Schroeder, went to the Warriors, so we're going to see him for a 5th time this year.
Well, there's no doubt the guy can ball. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be stupid. Dennis can flat out ball. Let me ask you about another guy that we've never talked about together is Pip Jr. Pippin's played really well. I think he's another guy that sees the floor pretty well. He's dropping about 5 dimes a game, scoring in double figures. They have to like what they see from this kid.
They love it. And they got him as a pickup last year during that just injury-plagued entire season where they had 52 different starting lineups and brought 35 guys in through the doors. And Scotty was one of the guys that came on a 2-way and stuck. And it's really remarkable when you break it down, because he's never really been a playmaking point guard in his career. When he went to Vanderbilt, he was a scorer, and he's a scorer. And now he's asked to do a little bit more on the playmaking side. And when Ja was out, his assist numbers were through the roof. I mean, he had multiple games with 10 assists. He had a 30-point, 10-assist game in Chicago with a triple-double, and the last person to do that was his dad at that spot. So it was pretty cool to see that, too. And he's really humble. He understands his role. When Ja's there, his minutes go down. When Ja takes a night off, he's going to start. And you don't really miss a beat. He can put the ball in the bucket. Great court vision, like you said, Scotty. And just, it's one of those guys where you look at him and you go, if you're 6'3" or 6'4", you're a star. Instead, you're 6'1" and you fought to get in here. Now you're not gonna let it go. They're gonna have to pry you out of here to tell you can't play in the NBA anymore. And that's the type of work ethic that they're trying to build this organization around.
I got 1 minute respectfully. Aldama's another 7-footer that you got, and his numbers are mind-blowing. They really are. Like, I'd never heard of him. I never saw the kid play at Loyola. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, Santi Aldama, just his last 15 games. He didn't have a good game Sunday. He was due for one, but 60% from the field, 60% three. I think the 2 years of playing for Spain in the international competition did wonders for him. He's in a contract year. Couldn't be a more humble, nicer guy. Has taken everything thrown his way and just put in the effort, and he's just a pleasure to be around. I'm really happy for the young man, and I think this offseason he's going to see a bank account increase significantly.
I'll bet. I'm rooting for him. I like him. Tell your boy Ja he's got a fan in Ferrall and his shoes, and he's a badass. He's fun to watch ball. I'm glad he's back balling, and he's happy. I love you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Good luck with your eye. Good luck with the Grizz. Chill the most, my man. Good to see you.
Best to you and the family.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas? I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I'm not going to turn down them jobs, son. You got to get them jobs. I got to have a deal with some NBA players. Give me some of their shoes, son. Love shoes. I tell you what, I think I actually, again, there's a couple things. Penguins, Steelers, I love more than my family. Obviously, Pirates. And then I would say, and I know this is rather undercutting an evil, but I would say basketball shoes also move ahead of the list of my family members. And I have an affinity, as you know, Carver High, for basketball shoes, and they move to the head of the class, and particularly when I have them doled out to me. When I was a kid, Roger and Rob Harden, two great players. Roger played at Kentucky, one of the great Kentucky guards of all time. They were from Valparaiso, Indiana. Their father ran Converse. And the guy used to give me shoes like Larry Bird's and Magic Johnson's and all those Converse shoes when I was a kid. Oh, my God. I used to go to their house and they had 7 million pairs of shoes in the basement. I thought I was in heaven. And then, like, ever since, I've been buying shoes my whole life, basketball shoes. I got some guy telling me, yo, let me grab you a pair of Jaws. I'm like, I almost fell over. He immediately became more important than my own family members. He moved Hasseltine just moved right ahead of my wife and children. Now, most people would never admit to something like that. I try to be honest on this show and tell it like it is, because I know they can't stand me. 34C can't stand me. My kids think I'm evil. I mean, my dog is the only one that likes me. You know it's true, Carver. Why shouldn't I position myself for shoes over family?
Got to have principles in life, and that's one of them. Shoes at the near the top of the list. Shoes over family is one of those principles that you have. So you have to have that going for you.
That is great.
Only one game tonight, of course, in the NBA, and that is the NBA Cup Final. Milwaukee and Oklahoma City in Vegas at the T-Mobile. Here's what we're looking at right now. -6.5 for the Thunder and a 215.5 total in this game.
Yeah, I think the number's too big. I think the Thunder win the game by literally in overtime by a bucket. I mean, I think they're playing for money. I think the Bucks are showing up. They have Giannis and Dame. They got Portis. They got Middleton. They got the big fella, the 7-footer. Let's face facts. They played really well in this tournament, and I think that they're going to cover that number. I hate to say it. I think the Thunder are going to win. I think the Thunder are younger, faster, better. But I think the Bucks will cover the number. The NBA wants this game to be a classic. They want it to come down to the wire. In fact, I bet Silver will pay them another $100,000 each if they go to overtime. I mean, honestly, they want this to be the NBA Finals tonight in Las Vegas. They don't want it to be some 10-point blowout, 20-point blowout. I bet this is a 1 or 2 point game. Give me the number. Give me the 6.5. I like the Thunder to win, Bucks to cover. Middle it.
I'm with you. I think that this number is a little too high for a game that, there's a lot on the line, whether you want to believe it or not. There is. I mean, this is it. I mean, these guys can smell the cash. Even guys like Giannis and Dame who got lots of money. I mean, there's another boat to be bought with a win like this tonight. Yeah. So I'm with you. I'm going to take the 6.5 with the Bucks in Vegas at the T-Mobile. So there you go for NBA tonight. By the way, I'll give you the bad news now. There are no games tomorrow in the NBA. It's an off night. Nobody plays. So there's no NBA games on Wednesday night. They don't play again until Thursday. Thursday, you get a very full slate.
It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh.
It is. It will be a hockey night in Pittsburgh. We do got a couple bowl games tomorrow night. We got a bowl game tonight that we're going to get to also.
Well, then who needs NBA?
In a few minutes.
If I got college basketball games, screw them.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, you got Cal and UNLV tomorrow night out in L.A. I mean, that'll get anybody going for bowl season. That's for sure. How about college rack? Now, you noted this to me. Obviously, I wasn't here yesterday, but I did hear that you had New Mexico State over Southern Utah. They beat them 72-6.
Southern Utah.
Oh, you had Southern Utah. Okay.
Against New Mexico State in Las Cruces, and they covered. I hit so many games last night on the show. It's not even funny. As Mafia is my witness, I went crazy hitting games, but that was one of them. I mean, I sent you all of them. I know you can't go through all of them, but I will tell you.
I couldn't go through them all right now.
Listen, just real quick. Charleston covered for me. Louisiana Tech upset Grand Canyon. They covered for me. Northern Iowa covered for me. Texas Tech covered for me. And Southern Utah covered for me. Table.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all people.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
Yeah, this is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Around the stretch they come heading for home. All right, Carver High. Tonight's college rack, and there is a bevy of good games.
There are a lot of good games in college rack tonight. Why don't we start with these first ones? We have DePaul visiting St. John's tonight. You got West Carolina against number 1 Tennessee. George Mason visiting Duke. Heavy lumber there. UNLV and Dayton, good game. And Clemson against South Carolina. The other game I'll start you off with tonight.
All right, so can we go back to that sheet of games? I want to go. There you go. St. John's at Carnesecca. I like DePaul. 12.5 in DePaul. They both have the same record. DePaul's been playing good ball. Tennessee is going to maul Western Carolina, but they won't cover the number because they can't shoot. They shoot bricks like no other team that I've seen. Duke and George Mason. I'm willing to lay the number with Duke at Cameron Indoor. I love Dayton at home. I had Dayton on Saturday at home in their big win. And I'm going to go with them again against the Rebels, who have looked terrible so far. And I like Clemson, even though they're coming off the loss in overtime to Memphis at Littlejohn. I actually like Clemson on the road to beat a real average South Carolina team tonight in Columbia.
Next rack that I have for you. Why don't we start this one with the Jumpman Invitational. Now, this game is in Charlotte tonight, where number 7 Florida will face North Carolina. Florida favored by 3.5 in that one. You have Seton Hall and Villanova tonight. Georgia State against Auburn. Drake and Kansas State. Drake's been very good this year, by the way, so far. And Prairie View against UCLA late night.
All right, I'm going to go back to the Duke game. A dangerous bet, laying 19 or 20 against a good George Mason team. I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself because George Mason can flat out play. That might be a number worth looking at. If you grab 20, you might be in. Duke's not that good. I think Duke's looked pretty good. Not that good, right? Like they've struggled in games, and you got a good team coming in there. They might give them a game. I like Florida to win that game. Florida's looking fantastic. They're undefeated, and North Carolina has looked so average it's not even funny. Seton Hall and Villanova. Seton Hall has had nothing but problems. Villanova at 8.5, I could probably live with laying the number with Villanova. Villanova's playing a lot better ball. Seton Hall isn't. Auburn is going to beat the snot out of Georgia State. I mean by like 40 or more. Kansas State and Drake. Like he said, Drake's really good. They're undefeated. Drake upsets Kansas State tonight in the Little Apple, and UCLA will handle Prairie View. Nice scheduling there by the athletic department at UCLA at Paulyville. Nothing like going to, can you imagine walking around the corner to watch UCLA play Prairie View? I mean, honest to Christ.
Well, you got to get a couple of cupcakes in there. You got to have a few.
Don't. No, you
late
don't.
Night, weeknight in December where Prairie View comes in. You just have to make sure that you get a few of those if you want to bump up that tournament resume.
Now, wait a minute. Is that all you're going to give me? Because there's a lot of other great games. Listen, Radford is going to upset Colorado State tonight outright. They're getting 13. Radford has 9 wins. They're tough as hell. Utah State and UC San Diego. Give me the 10 with UC San Diego. They are a good team. Utah will spank the living shack out of Florida A&M. And how about Stanford? Easy work tonight with New York's own Merrimack going far west to get drugged. Poly laying 11 against Denver. Not happening. Take Denver in the number. And Oregon State's going to spank Sac State. I give you everything, Carver High, for the civilians.
Well, yeah, we're on a lot of these late night under the radar games. Sacramento State and Oregon State, Denver and Cal Poly
specials, the late night West Coast rum specials.
Got to have a few of those on your card as well for this evening. All right, there you go, college rack for tonight. All right, college football playoff is this week. I'm not going to do all this today. I'll save some of it for tomorrow. But let's at least do a little bit on the Indiana-Notre Dame game, which is Friday night in South Bend, where I told you earlier in the show, they are now saying just under 20 degrees with snow showers under touchdown Jesus. So it is not going to be fun. let's hear from the Hoosier head coach, Curt Cignetti. Of course, we always love when guys do this, Scotty. We always love when they say it's just another game. This is not just another game, Coach.
I think to me and our guys, in my mind, it's just another game. I mean, you prepare for this one like you prepare for all of them. I think for our players, they're going to be excited to play and excited to prove something. I don't think anyone was happy with the way we came out of Ohio State. We didn't give ourselves a chance to be successful, giving up 14 points on the punt team and then having some of the communication breakdowns we had on pass pro. We didn't give ourselves a chance to play offense. So, but I think our guys have learned from that too, and will be better in a hostile environment than we were on that particular day. And at the end of the day, it's just football. The game's going to be won or lost between the white lines, and I want them to go out there, fly around, have a little swag, and play the way we can play.
Listen, let's get real here for a second. I went to Indiana, and it's as cold there and snowy as it is in South Bend. They might get a little more snow up in Northwest Indiana in South Bend than they do in Bloomington, but it is freezing ass at IU right now. It is freezing ass at Notre Dame right now. There is no weather advantage for Notre Dame in this game. Indiana plays in cold, snowy weather. They've already played in snowy weather in games. So they're not afraid of the cold, snowy, dark night of South Bend Friday night. That's not going to have anything to do with this football game whatsoever.
I agree with you. I don't think it's here's where I think it becomes a problem. Maybe so much a slight more for Indiana is how they run their offense, right? They like to play fast. They like to push the football. And I just feel like maybe that slows them down, whereas the Irish are going to try to run it. They're going to try to plot it, whether the weather's beautiful or not. Notre Dame's going to want to do that. So I think it could just slow the Indiana O down a bit to where maybe that under with the 51.5 becomes a little bit more likely. 7.5 there. I do see some sevens now, Scotty, down from 7.5. A flat 7 for Indiana, too, here on Friday night.
Listen, I want Indiana desperately to play well and win this game. There's no denying it. But I don't think they will. Not only that, I don't think they'll cover. I think Notre Dame will pop them by 10 or more, and that'll be that. I think Notre Dame's in a position right now, frankly, to beat Georgia and go to the semis and possibly play for a national championship for Freeman. And I also think Penn State has an easy track. And I think, to be honest with you, Indiana, people are all going to say they should have never been there. And listen, I just wanted to say one last time before that happens that you can all kiss my ass.
Well, look, as you know, I have had a lot of fun this year with the Indiana run with you. I have bet them several times. I have bet their overs. I have had a lot of fun, and I wish they were playing anyone else this weekend than my Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, because I just can't root for them now.
It's great for the Hoosier State. It's good for the state. It's good for
great
everybody.
And I'll tell you, we always talk about ticket prices, things like that. I saw someone tweet this out before. Tickets readily available to the other 3 games. Like, you can go to that Penn State game, you can go to Texas, you can go to Ohio State Saturday night for really not a lot. The Notre Dame-Indiana game, prices are through the roof Friday night in South Bend. Like, I saw lowest ticket, $400, $500. All the other games are like $100 or under for it. So a lot of interest in the state of Indiana for the Hoosiers and the Irish.
I've been to Notre Dame Stadium 1,000 times. I have seen Notre Dame play 1,000 times in that building. It's an unbelievable experience.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. When he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Honestly, I have never heard so much pansy-ass talk about cold weather in my life. Like, listen, I'm going to the Steelers January 5th game, going to freeze my ass off. Going to go to the playoff game, going to freeze my ass off. The Friday night game in South Bend, you're going to freeze your ass off. If you would have gone to Philly to the Steeler game on Sunday, you would have froze your ass off. I mean, what do you think? This is June? This is December, January, playoff and playoff football. College football playoff football. Pro football playoff football. What happens in the pro football playoffs? They play in January, and then someone goes and plays in the Super Bowl in early February in New Orleans. All the games should be freezing ass unless they're indoors. If they're outdoors, you're freezing ass as a fan, as a player. Like, cry me a river. Like, I have never seen it. We're talking about weather around here too much. You know, I like talking about weather when it comes to our, like, daily life. Snow, problem. Pain in the ass, no doubt. Oh, it's freezing ass today in New York. Pain in the ass. But when it comes to football, don't we live for this? Cold weather, snow, sleet, ice. Why not?
We do live for it, and it does make the game better. We just hope for it. I hope it's snowing like crazy in South Bend on Friday night. It's going to make the game better. Let's go, indeed. We do have one bowl game tonight. Let's do that. The Frisco Bowl, which will have Memphis and West Virginia getting together. Of course, Memphis 10-2 this year, and they are ranked right now 25th in the country. West Virginia is 6-6, and you always got to check this stuff out. Here's West Virginia's rap sheet for tonight, Scotty. Of course, they fired Coach Neil Brown. We know that they've hired Rich Rodriguez. Offensive coordinator Chad Scott will be the interim coach tonight. They have several players who are out for the year. They have several players who have opted out, including their top linebacker, Josiah Trotter, who actually transferred already to Missouri. They have a bunch of other guys, including their quarterback, that's not going to play, whereas Memphis really is bringing their full squad. And that's why you're seeing Memphis -5 with a 60.5 tonight down at the Frisco Bowl.
Run. Dive on your phone right now. Run to the window on Memphis. West Virginia, they sound like they shouldn't even be in the game. They sound like they're not prepared to play in this game at all in terms of bodies, coaching, everything else. They're at a major disadvantage. And Memphis is good. Forget about that being ranked 25th nonsense. What a joke that is. Like, what? That should have no bearing on your money and your bet. The deal is this. They went to Tulane and kicked their ass in their stadium. They should have been playing for the conference title. They're good. And West Virginia, the reason why they fired the coach is because they suck. and now they got A-Rod or Rich Rod back. This is not now. They're not ready for this tonight. I will keel over if they win that football game. Now, I'll eat a hoagie sandwich tomorrow if they win. I really will. But I'm on Memphis. I already bet it.
There you go. I'm on Memphis as well. I think they're going to smash them tonight down in the Frisco Bowl. So let's get us things going there. Florida State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei declares for the NFL draft. And I think I'll just say, why?
What a disastrous decision is he making. He's awful.
Couldn't make it through the couldn't even make it through the Florida State season, and that was it for him. So I don't. But I guess you got to do that, and then he'll just end up. He'll end up in the whatever they call the XFUFL or the CFL or Arena League. He'll end up in one of those. I don't see him being on an NFL team next year. That's for sure. It doesn't sound like it to me. All right,
he's not even good enough to play in the CFL.
Probably not. I'd be willing to agree with you on that.
Respectfully saying that to the CFL. CFL's too good for him.
CFL's too good for him. How about hockey?
Everybody loves hockey.
Everybody does love hockey. You talked about that Panther-Oiler game last night. It was awesome. It was 6-5 was the final. Great game. Canucks beat the Avs. Stars beat the Caps. Let's go. We have lots of games tonight. We'll start in Montreal, where the Sabres and the Canadiens are getting together. Minus $1.30 for the Sabres on the road with a 6.5 total.
I am not betting on them ever. Give me Montreal.
Yeah, never is right. Tampa has Columbus in town tonight. What does that mean? It means we have one of our heavy lumber games for this evening. Minus 255 for the Lightning, 6.5 the total here.
Puck line the Lightning at Amalie. They'll kick the Jackets' ass.
What do we have here? What do you know? It's hockey night in Pittsburgh at the PPG. Can you believe it? The Kings are still on the East Coast. After a swing through the New York area, they now stop in Pittsburgh, where they'll see the Penguins. They are road favorites, minus $1.40-ish, whereas the Penguins are around plus $1.20, 5.5 the total.
I won't deny the Penguins have been playing better, but they lost the other night in the overtime game. Brady Tkachuk with the winner for the Senators. They're going to lose to the Kings. The Kings are one of the best teams in the league, and this is an easy night of work for L.A.
Kings have been very good. The Islanders are in Carolina against the Hurricanes tonight. More heavy lumber here. Hurricanes minus 220. Islanders plus $1.80 with a 5.5.
This is another puck line game for me. I think the Canes beat the Islanders easily in Raleigh.
I'm with you on that. The Devils are in St. Louis against the Blues. Devils road favorites here. Minus $1.82, plus $1.50 for the Blues at home. 5.5 in this one.
I like the Devils to win. I like the over 5.5.
Rangers are in Smashville against the Predators. Predators favored here. Rangers have been bad, as we know. They're now almost 500, 15-14-1. Minus $1.45 for the Preds, plus 122 for the Rangers, 5.5.
I can't bet on the Rangers. They've lost 10-13. I'll take the crappy Predators instead, and they are awful.
Back-to-back for the Caps after losing in Dallas. They're in Chicago tonight against the Blackhawks, but they're minus 200 favorites on the road, plus $1.70 for the Hawks and a 5.5.
Yeah, I think this gets ugly. Puck line the Caps. They'll win by a pair or more in Chicago.
Bruins are road favorites in Calgary for Alberta against the Flames, 5.5 total.
I'll take the Flames at home at plus. I see plus 115 and some hizzies.
There you go. Ottawa's in Seattle, and the Jets are at the Tank tonight. Give me the Sharks. Even money at home against the Jets tonight.
I like Seattle at home at Climate Pledge, and I think the Jets are going to stomp on the Sharks, and all the water's coming out of their tank.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a challenge. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there is one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. He texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Everybody loves leftovers.
They certainly do. And actually lots of golf in the leftover section tonight, including the showdown tonight, which actually starts in about 10, 15 minutes from now at Shadow Creek in Vegas, where you have 2 stars of LIV, Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, 2 stars from the PGA Tour, Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy, 18 holes, Scotty, and it's carved up into 3 sections. First 6 holes, best ball. Second 6 holes will be alternate shot. Final 6 holes, a singles one-on-one competition. So should be a lot of fun. I gave you the numbers right there. Scheffler and Rory are favorites tonight, and that's probably just because of Scheffler, to be quite honest with you. I like the plus money with I'll take you with Brooks and Bryson this evening.
I don't know. My buddy's going to this thing at Shadow Creek. He's going to go watch it live. Secondly, I'm hearing that Fox is about to do a big deal. I don't know if you know about this with LIV.
Yes, that is very true. That has been some chatter over the last 24 to 36 hours that it is getting close. That Fox may be broadcasting the LIV events starting this season. Not official yet. We'll see if that stuff gets across the line. The PGA still having problems. Commissioner Jay Monahan says today they're going to hire a CEO because I guess he can't do the job, so he'll bring someone else in who I guess will then do his job. I would vote for Stewie to be the CEO of the PGA Tour. We can get him involved. They also won't be stopping in Vegas next year. That's right. The Shriners chopped off of the fall schedule because they couldn't get a new sponsorship. The Shriners left, couldn't get anybody to step in, so no tournament in Vegas. That's unfortunate. How about this 17-year-old kid, Blades Brown? Did you see this kid? He's going to skip college and turn pro. His first event, he's going to play at the Amex in Cali in January. Apparently, he's got a bunch of other sponsor exemptions that he's going to get. Why not? Get right out there and try to earn that bag. Let's go.
No one goes to class if you're a guy that's below par.
Yes.
This guy shoots under par. He's going to make a fortune. Money's all that matters, man. That's it.
I always love Conor McGregor stories on Coast to Coast. He says he's agreed to fight Logan Paul in some dopey boxing match in India, of all places. I've seen the Paul people say today that that's nonsense, that that's not true. So who knows what to believe, Scotty, when it comes to Conor McGregor and all of his antics of trying to make money.
Joe Rogan says he's just been partying his ass off with everything, allegedly drugs, booze, and that's his problem.
running out of money. He's partying. He's probably running. Now, how could he run out of money after selling that awful whiskey company away? There's no way he could be running out of money. I saw this clip you sent me, and I did see it last night, too. The Vermont University soccer team won the NCAA title last night. A dramatic, sudden-death, extra-time goal against Marshall. That's right, Vermont. The Catamounts winning the national championship in soccer. Good for them.
A big win for the Catamounts in the extra session.
Good
All right,
job.
we got the Ferrall finish now. System of a Down announced a tour in South America in 2025 big stadium tour. Always love eating seeds is a best time activity. I believe they wrote that after listening to me chew seeds on the air in Los Angeles for 10 years because they knew it drove all the radio stations and programmers crazy. And I was friends with members of the band. Panic at the pub in UK, Carver High. It appears they have a shortage of Guinness. Heaven forbid. Crystal Magnum, the former stripper and convicted killer, finally confesses to lying about being raped by the Duke lacrosse team in 2006. It's 2024, and she finally comes around and says she lied about the whole thing and ruined all of those kids' lives? Unbelievable. Miller High Life to release a bar fume that smells like a dive bar. Now, wait a minute. Who in their right mind is going to wear cologne that smells like a stinky nightclub? I mean, honestly, what is happening right there? Couple charged after performing a botched home circumcision. It did not go as planned, according to reports. Trying to perform a circumcision in the kitchen at the house and convincing someone that you could actually pull it off just sounds dangerous enough to me, Carver High. GTD is next. Get my app. Search Ferrall. You'll find it. There's even an avatar on there called Stubby. You're going to love it. See you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Marcus Johnson, when you look at Nikola Jokic, these aren't guys that are big, super athletic, dunking and jumping over people. These are just guys that are clean, skilled footwork, and do things below the rim that make the everyday guy look like it'd be like, I can do that. But you can't, and neither can I.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.